And, I mean, I'm sure you learned some stuff out there on that dry slick track and kind of a challenging track, some good competition.
Yeah, next year we'll go back a little bit more prepared. We just kind of threw it in the trailer and went.
Well, I was kind of surprised to see just you and your dad down there as the crew. Because usually you got Norm and you got Todd Miller and you got your gang to work on the car, and it was chaos this year.
It wasn't chaos. It was pretty peaceful, actually. We didn't do anything.
I mean, that show rolls so fast, though. It's just, if you got to make a change, you got to make it now.
Yeah, it was different. It was different than normal. We usually have Troy with us, and he had to work that weekend, so he wasn't able to make it.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk a little bit about.
Wait, stop for a second.
Come on, I have to ask him about the right rear pushing the cushion over there in 1 and 2, like what we did at Denver.
That was cool because he says, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
So we were talking a little bit about your night number 1 was definitely the night for you. That was the best performance and stuff that you did all weekend. You went out and had a stellar car. You were making moves forward. We were talking about over dinner basically your turn number 2, let's clean the wall, because it went from 6 feet of a cushion to 6 inches to a cushion. You went that extra mile, decide, the right rear's still clean. We're just going to go and clean over turn 2 wall. Was that something? I mean, you didn't remember, but I believe watching you before down here at Willamette Speedway, I believe that was a setup deal, wasn't it?
Oh, by no means did we have a good car that night, but we made do. I didn't even realize what happened.
Well, the funny thing was, like you said you didn't realize what happened until Josh mentioned that you were racing with Sanders. When you and Sanders were nose to tail through the corner and you cleaned the wall off, you go, "Oh yeah, I remember that part now." And your dad was like, "I don't remember seeing that," but it was
awesome.
Yeah, there was one lap I noticed I got in a little bit higher, and I'm like, "Oh no."
Yeah, that was the lap.
It really hooked the cushion and kind of bounced me. But
it was a little rough up there too.
Yeah, there was a hole right in the center of it, but I didn't notice anything happening. I just kind of took off again.
And the track conditions, again, through 1 and 2, like you said, there was a little bit of a hole up there. It was a little rough on the top. But, one thing we talked about during the races was getting into turn 3, there was quite a dip that was really unloading the car and then loading it real quick. Is that a challenge as a driver and when you had a situation like that?
It wasn't a dip. It was just kind of a rut, like a cushion was starting, but it kind of blew off through the night. But
because we were watching it, and the features and the cars were just like really kind of it's kind of just slamming the car down and then lifting it up and putting it back down again. It looked rough from where we were at. Maybe It wasn't as rough in the car with the shocks under you.
Oh, it was pretty rough to me. I was bouncing my head around. But yeah. I was using it as a brake to get into the corner because I was way too loose getting in, so I'd use it to keep the car underneath me to get out of the corner.
Well, I want to tell you something. You haven't seen it yet, but the in-car camera we have of you in the car, it was absolutely amazing because we've got a camera that we mounted, a Moxie camera, in your cockpit facing back to you, and we're watching you drive the car. And I can't wait to put this up on Moxie because I've seen a lot of racers in my life. You have got to be one of the calmest drivers I've ever seen in the cockpit. Your eyes constantly scanning the track back and forth, watching, just smooth and just like you're on a Sunday cruise. You're just very, very relaxed.
Yeah, we were sitting down there at breakfast before we left. Sandra was uploading a lot of the GoPro stuff and everything else, and Corey said, "Hey, come over and look at this." And it was your in-car camera. And at first I didn't realize it was you, and he says, "God, look how smooth that kid is." And I'm like, "Wow, who is that?" And he goes, "Well, that's Bryson James." And in your eyes, and you sit there, and you're just kind of like you're in your own little world. And at one time, you were under caution, and you were just kind of gazing around.
That's when I asked. I go, "Are they under caution?" And Sandra goes, "No, look at the background. They're actually racing." It looks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The whole video. It really looks like you're under caution because you're just so relaxed in the car, and your eyes just kind of scanning, looking back and forth, and you can see your eyes moving, which is cool. Thank God.
It is actually cool.
But I actually had to ask, "Are they under caution?" And then when you can see past his helmet and stuff in the background, you can really see the car is under speed, and it just looks like he's under caution cruising around.
Yeah, it was smooth.
It was.
So those 2 nights were, pretty easy tracks. Not easy tracks, but they weren't rough. You weren't driving in super hard. You could really take your time and see what was going on. But I don't notice what's going on. I'm not looking dead ahead. I'm looking all over.
Oh, you can see that with your eyes.
So I'm really just watching the cars ahead of me, working on where I need to be to get to them.
So let's talk about a little bit from night 1 to night 2. Night 1 started out tacky, heavy, hammer down, ready to go. Midway through, started turning dry slick. It was something that we've talked all night, and we talked about, when we were on the air down there at Bakersfield, how the track conditions changed. With that said, night number 2, very, very slick. Very just until it took rubber. As a driver coming from like Willamette Speedway, you've raced all over there. I mean, you've raced sprint cars, you've raced late models, you've raced, street stocks, all that type of stuff. That track going into it, how much different was driving that track compared to anywhere else you've been?
The second night it ended up being like Lebanon, like it used to be last year, and it's really hard there because there's no banking to lean on except in turn 1. Because in 3 and 4 you just kind of skate all the way around until you catch some grip by the wall. But I was prepared for it. I just couldn't do what I needed to do. I just couldn't do it. I don't know why.
So we saw a lot of guys and stuff that if they're running the bottom, everybody was running the bottom. Until somebody decided that they wanted to change lanes. Once they changed lanes, then everybody changed lanes. Was that hard to compromise and sit there and say, hey, look, my car does work better up on the top. Why is everybody now moving up top? Because now you're having a battle with 8 or 9 cars that are in front of you instead of maybe 2 cars that decided to run the top and everybody else was running the bottom. How do you change that? How do you change that mindset and go, man, do I dial more brake into it so I can run the bottom? Do I dial less brake into it so the car will be looser? As a driver, how do you do that when everybody decides it's going to be a follow leader?
I really don't follow people at all. I mean, if they're running the top and it's a good cushion, I'll run the cushion, but I usually go where somebody isn't. And I've learned that from running karts and everything else,
right.
But you're not going to pass them following them.
That's true. The first night, I'll tell you what, you were making the move. If you had 5 more laps to go, I'm telling you, you would have been up there in the top 2 too. It was fast.
And the car was good. He'll disagree with you. That's one thing I appreciate about Bryson. Here's a kid that's had a lot of opportunity. Okay, very humble, very quiet, very relaxed.
I had to turn his mic up a little bit.
You can't get this kid real excited. Almost along the lines of Kyle Yak. The excitement level is a smile. And
pretty much.
Well, look at this guy. This guy.
That's exactly
he's
it.
Chilling. So, we're all over here dancing around in the studio. We're up on our feet, and he's over in the corner going.
He's kicking it back in my lazy boy chair in my seat with my headset.
So, I want. There's a chair there for you, Josh.
I'm too excited because I don't know what the hell's going on
right
now.
I am too.
I heard this a couple of weeks ago, and when Bryson told me, he says, hey, don't tell anybody, but I want to tell you something. So
thanks, because I've been trying to get out of him for 2 weeks.
Thanks, buddy.
He tells me, and I just stared at him like, what did you just say? I mean, this is really cool stuff, and for Bryson to come on the show and share it with everybody, I'm honored. But, Bryson, I'm going to turn this whole thing over to you, and I'm going to let you put these guys' jaw on the floor and let everybody know what you've got going on in your racing.
Do I need to sit down?
Probably a good idea.
All right, hang on. I'm sitting back down here.
Corey, since you know what's going on, why don't you run the sensor button because we know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'll pull the mic away.
So one weekend we were up racing at Skagit. I think it was Dirt Cup. We were hanging out at Speed Mart talking to whoever works there. I can't think of his name right now, but
bunch of guys.
Yeah. He ended up, so my car owner, Tim Galloway, is buddies with him.
No, we're talking about
the sprint car.
Talking about the wing sprint car stuff.
Yeah, we were talking. Okay. We were racing the sprint car at Dirt Cup that weekend. And we were hanging out at Speed Mart, and Tim starts talking to whoever's running the front desk, saying, oh, we need to get to the Chili Bowl. So we start talking, and at Dirt Cup, just so happened to be big ASCS race. Everybody's there.
You see my arm here?
We go talk to Johnny Herrera, and we sign up for a Chili Bowl ride.
Shut up!
He's got a contract.
Hold on.
He's got a contract with Johnny Herrera to run the Chili Bowl.
Hold on. Are you hitting me right now?
Whoa. This guy, who I remember growing up running karts,
I know,
and that 13 street stock, is running the Chili Bowl.
Yep, we'll be running a spike chassis Esslinger motor.
For Johnny Herrera.
For Johnny Herrera?
Hold on.
Whoa.
Do you need a crew member, right?
They got it covered.
They got that
covered. Check it out. I mean, because, I might be fat.
Check it out.
I can sit there and, I can ranch on a car.
Come hang out. Everybody's welcome.
I got credentials.
No, you don't.
Well,
you can forge credentials.
I could forge credentials. Dude,
So-
that is awesome. A full, complete ride.
With a signed contract with Johnny Herrera, Bryson James
Holy
will be
crap.
running the
You gotta be kidding me.
2016 Chili Bowl.
Yep. Kenny Woodruff is the crew chief. He's the one who
Do
got
you know
started
who,
with.
sees Josh's face when he hears Kenny Woodruff? He knows.
Yeah, he got started with Donnie Schatz and
Yeah.
Blaney's and
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay, no, okay. Do you know who he's talking about right now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, this guy is legendary known. I mean, it's
He's a
like taking
legend.
it's like taking a guy in
In all terms of sprint cars, I'd compare him to Carl Kinzer.
Pretty
yeah.
close,
When
yeah. pretty
when it
much.
comes to midgets and everything else, this
Absolutely.
guy is
Hey, they're little people.
when it comes to these cars, I mean, yeah, he is. I mean, he's like a Carl Kinzer. I mean,
That's
if
Bryson's
you come
crew
up
chief
and stuff,
at-
and the way Bryson is when it comes down to, hey, look, the feedback and everything else. I mean, he can even take my feedback and probably make it work. But, dude, that is wow. You never know. You
that
never
was 90%
know.
of the reason we took that ride.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, that's an opportunity you don't get.
You don't. And for you to
Almost
have
ever,
that,
yeah.
that's phenomenal. So to have that kind of, first of all, a quality ride with the best crew chief in the game.
Oh, it's the best of the best. I mean,
Yeah.
literally. I mean, this is a top quality A main run to the front. I mean, this is where it's
you
at.
know-
No, I don't know about that. We still got a long way.
Well,
to go
there's
from there.
300 cars that show up for that deal.
Yeah.
To make the
I-
A main, you've already
I'm
won.
not. Listen, I'm not even scared about that right now because we're talking about Bryson James.
What sponsors will you have on your ride at the Chili Bowl?
I'm not sure.
Not sure
Moxie
who they're
not
going to bring.
sure.
Well, you know, Moxie Media and stuff, of course, is going to be there.
Yeah, probably not. But we'll try.
Can we just put a sticker on your helmet?
If I have to hitchhike from Jubit's truck stop, I'm going.
Okay.
Okay, I will bring stickers.
So this is cool. This is cool. Are you excited?
Oh, yeah. I'm,
Oh, look at him.
Look-
I can't even talk right now.
So when did you guys finalize the contract?
A month or two ago. I'm not sure.
Hold on, Bryson. Now listen, bud. I know we're not that close. We're kind of close.
It's only 2 months away. Month and a half.
He's never been in
But
a
you
midget.
haven't told me
No.
any of this? But you decided you were going to tell Corey.
I promised him.
I only told a few people, and
Yeah.
he just happened to be there
I'm telling you right
when
now,
we were
Bryson.
talking about it.
Wait till we
And-
get off the air.
It was cool.
That is.
But I was sworn to secrecy.
You
so
are going to get a thumping. You'll
Oh,
know
dude,
it.
yeah, you're done, dude. I
Hey,
wouldn't even.
if you
listen,
guys
I'm
swore me
staying
to-
the night at your house, so I'm just saying, watch
if
out,
you
buddy.
guys swore me to secrecy, I'd do the same thing for you. This is big. I want to let him break
I'm
it.
sorry, Mr. Frosty.
Yeah. Well, that's different.
Huh?
So, Bryson, you've never been in a midget. You've been in the sprint cars. I mean, they're comparable, power to weight. I mean,
So I've heard. We'll find out.
right. Well, so
They're-
what? I mean, in all reality, what is your expectation coming into this Chili Bowl deal?
Winning it.
No, I don't think so. I'm just looking for a good weekend and not go backwards.
You're going to win
Every
it.
time I hit the track, I want to go forward. That's
Right.
my goal. Don't
Well,
go backwards.
And I think that you've got a real shot to do that. And I think you've got a real shot to make the feature. I mean, but there is 300 cars
Yeah,
that show up
three
for
of the-
this deal.
300 of the best drivers in the country or
Right.
the
Okay.
world.
Well,
Hold
this
on.
is
You
the
talk,
thing.
You talk about the 300 of the best midget drivers around the country.
No,
right?
300 of the best
It's-
drivers
well,
in the
strictly
country.
anything.
Drivers. Okay, but look where he just came from. Bakersfield Nationals, 31st annual. Night number one, you're talking about 140 of the best drivers from all over the country. You talk about 22 of the best late model drivers from all over the place, and he was running the top 5.
All over the place. They came from California.
Well,
and
they were
Oregon.
the Western
But
states.
still, there's from the Western states. You had people from Arizona. You had people from Montana. You had people.
The
But
guy who
this-
won was the best in California. So
Bobby Hogue's got a couple laps in there. We're still trying to figure
Yeah.
out where he got the key to the track
there
because
was-
I believe there's Wednesday night Thunder where he goes out and practices.
Won
but
3 out of 4 mains. That's
yeah,
just saying.
it's-
But anybody that runs with Hogue there is fast. But this is the Chili Bowl. We're talking 300 of the best drivers, not just in the country, but there's going to be drivers coming from Australia, New Zealand. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. So, a quality ride, best crew chief in the game,
Best.
good sponsorship, show up, drive the car. If Bryson goes out there and makes the feature, or even runs well, this is. I mean,
This
this
is a
isn't just
stepping
about
stone.
the Chili Bowl. This is a major stepping stone to get this
Yeah.
kid from the Northwest to the next level. And ultimately, I mean, what is your? I mean, we've talked about it off the air and stuff. But ultimately, what's your next goal? What's your next level you want to be at? Where do you want to end up, Bryson?
I mean, everybody's goal is NASCAR, but
Right.
that's pretty far fetched coming from where we're at.
I
There's
don't
not
think
much
so.
Here.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm not sure. In high school, I was writing stuff. Like, you had to write papers on what you wanted to be when you got older. My